Hello and welcome to a gorgeous fall day here in Ontario, Canada. My name is Speck. I am the importer for Nirvana Paramotors for Canada. I would like to go through a brief video here before I jump into the sky of my recently acquired F-light and also a comparison of my older Parajet Maverick. A little bit of a disclaimer. This by no means is meant to bash another competing brand or anything of that sort. It is simply to educate and inform of different features that are available on different machines that I personally have experience with. Starting off, a little bit of background. I owned a Nirvana Instinct for approximately 3 years and 200 hours. With that, it served me very well up until I sold it and acquired my Maverick. In doing so, features that I was used to on my Instinct, I put on and customized my Maverick to suit those needs. Such things as on the side here, I have a primer bulb and another kill switch for a bit of redundancy and the ability to operate this with my right hand while in the air. In case you're wondering why a primer bulb, not only is it handy if you're on the ground, if you start your motor and it dies and doesn't have quite enough juice and you're all strapped in as you should be, but also doing high G maneuvers in the air. Oftentimes, if left to idle, a motor will stall and it usually starves itself. A little few pumps and a pull and off I go. I enjoyed owning this machine for 200 hours, but things improve and get better over time. I will continue. After doing this modification, I took off the 125 prop and put on a 130 prop to get more power. I'll come back to that in a minute. So this is a 130 helix on here. I gave some redundancy here and put on the soft links and put on stainless carabiners. Once again, doing high G maneuvers. This is what I wanted for a little bit of peace of mind. I also, since I was used to a Nirvana throttle, put on the left-handed throttle here with the magnet. If you're ever in a beach setting, dragging your throttle on the ground, getting sand into the mechanism is absolutely horrible, and having a magnet just keeps it up and out of your way, but always at arm's reach. Moving over here, of course, all of these features are available on the F-light. We have stainless carabiners from the factory. We have our left-handed throttle with magnet. The adjustability of this harness, a little note to go back. When I ordered this harness, I got the small medium harness. I'm 5'7", roughly 160 pounds. And so in doing so, that would make a whole lot of sense, but it wasn't to be. I had a medium harness on my Instinct, figuring if Dudek is only making 2 sizes that I need the smaller of the 2 sizes. Not to be. The length from the bottom of the seat to the shoulders here is very tight on the small harness, and I found that I was hunched in it if it was all adjusted properly. I swapped it out for a large, extra large. Thankfully, my dealer was able to accommodate me with that. With the Instinct harness, of course, the back here is adjustable. The seat straps are adjustable here. Both of them are controlling the height that this pilot is above in relation to the frame. The higher that you have your seat, the higher your body is going to sit. Ideally, your shoulders should be right level with the top. If somebody takes a selfie and their shoulders are down here, they definitely need to get their body up. To note, you do not need a different size harness to do this. It's simply a matter of adjustment. For resale value, a Nirvana, there is no different harnesses. It's just a matter of adjusting a few straps on this. So moving forward here, a point that I would really like to point out as far as the comfort in flying of this machine. The molded shell here that is putting in an ergonomic shape just like a race car seat, a bucket seat in a race car with lumbar supports to hold you in position. This is fantastic, and especially when you are under throttle and you have this belt, which is unique to the F-light, adjusted properly. This machine literally becomes a part of you, and these lumbar supports are holding this machine close to your body. Your body is the heaviest component in your aircraft. Having this machine locked into your body prevents, if you've been into a fly-in and watch some pilots with misadjusted machines take off and the entire machine twists, usually on a belt-driven machine, twists clockwise from behind, and it twists on their back. The pilot is sort of level, but the machine certainly isn't. If you have this properly adjusted, it absolutely cannot do that. Not only do we have twist air struts, but we are locking this frame up against the pilot. It's absolutely fantastic. I don't see any other manufacturer having lumbar supports to lock in that machine straight up to the pilot's body. But continuing down with the belt, this is critical, holding the bottom of the machine close to your body. Once in the air, the adjustments here for the seat, getting up to the back, having the thrust point lower on your back, sitting up properly in the machine. The weight shift is absolutely fantastic. These bars come in two different sizes. They come in I go by the measurement here. So this is approximately 16 inches and the bigger one is approximately 17 3/4. This puts the front shackle out. Bigger pilots who often complain about their legs hanging off the front of a seat. Obviously, you're going to get the longer arms and it's going to fit you properly. That is the only thing in this entire setup that is specific to a pilot, the longer or the shorter arms, easily accommodated by your dealer. I had this machine, I acquired it, and it had the longer arms. I swapped them out, dialed in my settings, and it's absolutely fantastic. I have gone back just for comparison purposes to fly this machine here. Approximately 15 inches is the length from the shoulder joint to the front shackle on this. It holds it closer to your body. It definitely feels smaller. It is a narrower cockpit. As this here, you can see these arms are splayed out intentionally. They give us more authority for weight shift. The whole point in the design and engineering of this machine is to have the most liberty or authority as a pilot to use your weight to your advantage, to evoke a turn, to carve better, to be able to change direction if going cross country with just a lean. It is that effective. Being the positioning of these arms, being a proper setup, when you force weight onto one leg or another and push down on that seat, the articulation of these arms, the leverage that they have with the weight of the front shackle, and of course the overall movement gives you more weight shift than an average low hang point paramotor does. I'll talk a minute about the power. The power is absolutely smoother and more powerful. This machine has specced out, as I said earlier, with a 125E prop. I have a 130 Helix on here now. There is still absolutely no comparison between a 3-blade prop on the Simonini 200 with the tuned exhaust as per Nirvana specifications. And in fact, I want to point out there are very few parts that cross over. Nirvana has completely gone through this machine, this engine, and made it their own. So the build on it and replacement parts are all to Nirvana specifications. What is happening though is that the smoothness, the lower RPM, the better fuel economy, but most of all, the thrust. When I said before, 3 machines ago, that I had my Instinct 200 with approximately 200 hours on it from new, and it is still no comparison between this machine with the tuned exhaust and with the electronically controlled ignition. So the spark is all regulated by an onboard computer. It has a pickup mechanism there on the front snout of the motor, totally unique to the industry. So the spark the tuned exhaust makes this engine so much better than it was before in the older Instincts. So it is a night and day difference. And I'll tell you a prime example how to realize this. I am flying a 16-meter drift air now. I have this engine, if I take it up on the old Maverick, the engine which still will rev up, 8700 is how I tune my high screw. Very particular with getting my engines to last a long time, to baby them with proper maintenance. Anyway, my point is it's running great. Still, on a 16-meter wing, that engine is working at higher RPMs, is consuming more fuel, and is also working hotter in order not only to launch, but to keep me in the air at level flight. It was an astonishing difference between jumping back and forth between the two machines. So I want to emphasize, this machine here is absolutely great if you take the time to properly set up all of your adjustable features, because it is so adjustable and configurable to a pilot, to your body type, the length of your back, the length of your femurs, the sensitivity of the weight shift that you want. All of these things are dialing, you need to dial it in. Communicate with your dealer, communicate with your instructor, but taking the time. Obviously, this is intended for a pilot that demands the best. That is our target market. When you want something that performs better than the average machine, we have the right product for you. It is all integral. The designers have thought of everything on this, such as, I just noticed my mirror here. You've got a mirror built into the unit, just like I said with them, with Nirvana having your end gadget here, reading out all of your critical engine features. What did I have to do on my Maverick? I had to sew in a tethered mirror in order to be able to see my exhaust. When it comes to speed bar, for instance, simply a front pulley, but the correct position for the second pulley here, when this is up and producing this line directly underneath, directly in place for that riser. On my Maverick here, not only did I have the front pulley, then I had the secondary pulley, which is way out front. I then installed another tethered pulley in order to get this pulley underneath. My point is, the amount of modifications that I had to do to this machine to perform nearly as well as a Nirvana product was extensive. So I'll let it go at that, and happy flying, and hope to see you in the air. Thank you.